War in North Korea declared. Foreign Minister Ri Yong Ho. This is according to BBC.com News. The foreign minister of North Korea told New York that they had the right to shoot down U.S. bombers, even when not in the United States airspace. The world should clearly remember it was the U.S. that first declared war, Mr. Rai said. Now, first of all, I am still very cautious about I was looking for the right word to use. I'm very cautious about believing what the news is telling us about North Korea. I'm very cautious about I'm reserved when I see these images of little Kim hanging out with 70-year-old generals using old equipment, having posters in the background showing the U.S. where they're going to launch their missiles. Something might go down, definitely. And I really feel that North Korea is going to be used as a sacrificial lamb. I am watching a series called American Gods, and wow, I started watching this at just the right time because the synchronicities are bizarre. And I'm going to share with you next podcast how North Korea could be used as a sacrifice to the gods. Whether or not you believe in the gods or not, it doesn't really matter because the people that control the world do. And this might be their offering for continual power and supplies in this physical realm. You know, that's their offering, their blood sacrifice to who they feel put them in power, which might have very well put them in power. What's your definition of a god anyway? That's really what it comes down to. But what's interesting is if you look at the military strength index, I would definitely recommend checking out globalfirepower.com. They've got a ton of really good information on each country and their military strength and logistics, etc. They use a specific index. It's an index value that's used proprietary, I think, with Global Firepower, where they use different calculations and in-house formulas. So the ranking that they give and provide is based on their statistics and their information, collection of sources, various sources. United States is currently ranked number 1 out of 133 countries. North Korea is ranked 23rd. Now, if you look at the amount of damage that North Korea could do, if it could get its weapons of mass destruction to the States, you could have some serious problems here. Now, whether or not that bomb that they showed us is even a bomb, where little Kim's got his hand on a supposed hydrogen bomb that can supposedly fit on an ICBM, that stuff might be true, but that doesn't look like a bomb to me that's going to go on an ICBM. It looks like a tinfoil tank of some sort. Anyway, total military personnel in North Korea, 6,445,000. Total military personnel in the United States, 2,363,000. Now, what about equipment? What about technologies? Well, aircraft, the total aircraft strength, according to Global Firepower, NK has 944. The U.S. has 13,762. You can look at fighter aircraft, 458 versus 2,296. Helicopters, we have 947. They've got 202. These are attack helicopters, not just, Let's go into the combat tanks. 5,000. They've got a lot of tanks. They've got 5,000. 25 tanks. We've got 5,884. Unless you're doing a land war, I don't see how tanks are going to be really that valuable unless you're close by proximity. Otherwise, good luck getting all those tanks over here. They've got a Navy, total Navy assets, 967, which is interesting. We've got 415. They've got 76 submarines. We've got 70, although the submarines we have are a lot more modernized. Patriot craft, they've got 438. We've got 13. I don't know what patrol craft. Patriot craft. Patrol craft, ladies and gentlemen. Now, consumption, they produce 100 barrels of oil a day. They consume 15,000. We're producing 8,600,000 barrels a day. We consume 19 million. We do have 36,520,000,000 barrels in reserves. Now then you can get into the labor force. You know, we have a much greater labor force, obviously. They're more like slave labor, even more so than us. Our defense budget is off the hook. You know, 587,800,000,000. No, I'm sorry, 587 trillion. No, that's probably what it really is, right? 587,800,000,000. That's according to this website. I'm sure there's a lot more than that off the books. The only way I could see North Korea posing a real threat is if they do have ICBMs. If they do have submarines that can't be tracked. Because submarines and ICBMs on submarines, that's when you've got a logistical nightmare, especially if you can't track them. So I would be assuming to say that our Navy has sonar and equipment and technologies that can pick up on older submarines, because I just haven't done enough research. Although I don't know why they wouldn't have that technology. I know of technologies that have been around since the early 80s where from satellites they can track certain radioactive isotopes almost anywhere in the world, making it almost impossible to hide nuclear weapons, which is a good thing, as long as you get the right people watching that. So when I saw this video yesterday of American Gods and what was done in American Gods, and when I look at this picture on BBC.com showing this supposed protest that thousands of people gathered for North Korea, in North Korea, against the U.S., the poster, and what happened on this TV show, American Gods, it's eerie how similar this poster is versus what I saw on that TV show. And combined with all the other media and everything that's going on right now in North Korea, Asia Pacific, that will be the patsy, that will be the spark of a much larger scenario. That could bring multitudes of countries into war. Let's hope it doesn't happen. They want it to happen. It's right in front of us. Watch this episode of American Gods and then look at this picture. Go to bbc.com, look at the image, look at the poster. I'll leave the link in the video description box. And tell me that the same screenwriter isn't writing for the news as well. Or they're getting the same information from the same source. It appears, in my opinion. Question everything. Be the change you want to see.